Hello and welcome to another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. I'm Wayne Highlander, Director of Sales for Bona Adhesives.
And I'm Rob Johnson from the Bona Training.
There we go. Well, Rob, we have a special guest with us today, a guest that you and I know very well, and I'm happy to have him on. We have Brett Miller on today. Brett,
he's one of my favorite Valentines too. I just love this guy.
Yeah, isn't he?
That means a lot. Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And I apologize for being a few minutes late, Brett. It's strictly a power move. Why don't you introduce yourself, Brett?
Sure. Well, thank you guys for inviting me on. I'm Brett Miller. I work for the National Wood Flooring Association. My title, I'm VP of Technical Standards and Training and whatever they throw at me. I kind of run a lot of our technical stuff, a lot of our schools, programs, all of that stuff. So as you said, I've known both of you for a long time and thoroughly enjoy listening to your podcast, and I'm honored to be on it. So thank you.
Of course.
Glad to have you on.
Yeah, not that you really need to introduce yourself. Everybody seems to know Brett, and one of the most respected guys in the business. So yeah, thanks for taking the time to be on, man. So this is a podcast, what we do. So it goes on the air. Now, just be yourself.
We just wanted you to, know that this is a podcast.
Yeah.
And it's not the evening news. Right. Yeah. Thanks for clarifying that, Wayne. That's perfect.
No, we might as well. We know you have a podcast also. We're kidding. So what podcast? In fact, you have a couple of them, don't you?
Well, I do our Wood Talk podcast. Okay. Where I just talk with members from around the industry, all different facets of our industry, and hear a little bit about them and their stories. Not as fancy as this. We don't have video or any of that. We just do audio. So it's nice to be on a real podcast.
Well, Rob and I are so confident that we invite our guests, if they have other podcasts, to go ahead and mention them.
I appreciate it.
We're super thrilled to have you on, Brett. I think the world of you, man. You know that we all started in the industry at the same time in the sales part of it, and it's really exciting to see the direction that you've gone, man. And you've done such a good job in your role with the NWFA, and it's cool to always get a chance to see you probably once or twice a year, and it's usually never for 10 minutes. We're always going in two different directions, 90 miles an hour. So glad to pin you down for a few minutes. So
definitely.
And the reason you're on is because, this is one of the most exciting, well, to me, probably the most exciting event of the year is the NWFA Expo. And I look forward to it every year. I mean, we get to see all our friends and counterparts and partners across the industry. And it's thanks to the NWFA for putting this together. So why don't you tell us where the NWFA is going to be this year, the Expo, and a little bit about it.
Definitely. And thank you for letting me talk about it. I think it's for the first time ever for me. I just went down there this last fall for our board meeting, which typically we do. We'll visit the space where we're going the year prior and get a good feel for the city. We're going to be in New Orleans this year. I had never been before, and it didn't disappoint for the night that I was there. It's exciting. I think NWFA has tried to get Expo in New Orleans for several years, and I think Penny Key, who runs our trade shows, finally was able to nail it down. And what she's pulling together, what we're pulling together for this show it's going to really complement that city. One thing I didn't realize, again, not really ever having been down there, was that Expo is April 14th through the 16th this year. I'm sorry, 16th through the 18th this year. And this is peak season for crawfish. So I'm really excited to know that we're going to be able to really get some authentic New Orleans food and attempt to try a crawfish broil and everything else that's out there. So it'll be fun.
I'm really excited. I love New Orleans, man. And, the thing about the NWFA Expo is the flooring industry is a unique industry. It's a very tough industry, and really we're a small industry. In the scheme of things, we're really not that big. And to get a chance to spend time, we say that it's a brotherhood, this industry, and it really is. But I mean, man, just to get together with everybody from flooring contractors across the country to have a beer together and have a drink together and have a laugh and share our shared experiences and stuff like that, man. That's as good as it gets, you know. And I think that we're all busy. We know it's hard to take time to get away, whatever. But I almost think you owe it to yourself. I mean, this is one thing that you owe as a flooring contractor to yourself, that you bust your butt. And a lot of us are like on an island, like, you know, a lot of us are made up of small companies across the country and we're on our own little world or whatever. So to be able to, that one time of the year, to go out and spend time with other flooring contractors and see what's new in the industry, and you guys have some great educational stuff there. And I just think it's just fantastic, man. And then to put it in New Orleans, holy smokes. I just think it just should be a phenomenal turnout this year, man. I'm really excited for you guys, and I'm excited to be going, and it's a pretty cool event.
Hey, Brett, did you get a chance to do a little exploring? Do you have any extra time?
Not so. We did a little tour. We went down to Bourbon Street at the French Quarter, and I was getting texts from Willie Short, who's from the area down there. He's about an hour away, and he started kind of freaking me out. He was texting me where not to go, and he says it might look like the same area, but you don't cross this street and you don't go down that alley. So we stuck with the group. We did get a chance to check out some of the main restaurants and bars down there. Really pretty awesome, but it did make me a little bit nervous on where not to go. So that all said,
Bona had a sales meeting there. What was that, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
About 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I wish I had gone down or maybe stayed an extra day just to do a little more exploring. But one of the cool things that we did as a group was we went on what are those, airboats?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
It was like a half a day. We were out in these airboats and feeding alligators. And so anybody who's thinking of going, make sure you get a couple extra days in there just to get some of the flavor of that city, because that airboat excursion was a blast. We had a ball on that.
That would be fun. I mean, I've heard some of the stories about getting down there into the bayou and the swampy areas, and you know, the alligators and everything, all the life that's down there, the snakes and everything else.
Yeah,
one of the things,
and that whole area that we were airboating was all that, the snakes, the alligators, really back in the bayou. It was really cool.
I'll bet. And one of the things that Penny put together is, you know, the history that's down there. She put together a ghost tour where they're going to be taking people on tours of some of the haunted places that are known haunted places in the area. So that'll be kind of fun to be able to participate in also.
Oh yeah.
One of the things I wanted to throw out there too, and we do this every year, but I think it's going to mean a lot more this year. Every year, the last day of Expo is free for local contractors to come in. And I think that that's really important. It's important, one, because it takes away the excuse of I'm too busy to break away from a job, or I can't afford to pay a little bit to come into the show. But it's free for contractors, even if you just come for a day or I'm sorry, an hour or two and just walk the floor, get to meet some of the reps from the products that are out there that are represented. That's pretty big. I always kick myself when the Expo was in Colorado when I was a contractor at that time, and it was a snowy day, and I figured I'm just not going to make it. And I didn't make it that year, even though it was in my own backyard. And I kicked myself for that. So that's something that I think is huge, to be able to come for free. And plus, you know, that second day is a little bit, we're a little concerned about attendance that second day. I think that first day is going to be great. The first night's going to be even better. And hopefully people.
Well, it's almost
the next day.
Yeah, it's almost a Las Vegas type of destination. There's so much to do there. And you know, at our advanced age, Rob, you and I, maybe Bourbon Street isn't the thing anymore. I think you have to do it once. I think you have to, because it's Bourbon Street. But I've taken my wife there, and the neighborhoods outside of the area are phenomenal for walking. Just walk. Look at the iron wrought work and everything up in the old buildings, and just walk in any bar, the unique food, and there's music everywhere. I mean, everywhere. You can Google And just a tip for everybody, if you're worried about walking around down there or whatever in the area, or you can Uber somewhere. It's very inexpensive to Uber somewhere. Everything is pretty close by. But if there's any expo that you would take your spouse to, I think this would be it. Just take a couple days and on the front side or the back side of this thing, and just really go explore the town and have a great time and enjoy New Orleans, enjoy the music, enjoy the atmosphere. My wife, when I first was going to take her down there, she thought, no, I don't want to. I don't know if it's for me. You hear things about New Orleans, and I don't know about it. We went down there, and she fell in love. I mean, she didn't want to come home. I mean, the dancing and the music and the food and the beautiful the atmosphere there was just phenomenal. So I think it should be widely attended, and certainly probably the attendance will double now because of the podcast here, Rob.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But again, for me, it's the getting together with the flooring contractors and bonding, having a beer with your buddies or guys that you only know on social media. I like it when everybody says, "Hey, look, let's all get together at a certain place or whatever." So, I mean, it's great for the trade. It's great for the guys. And what are you doing? Any educational classes this year?
Yeah, thanks for asking. So at Symposium is always the very first day. It's going to be on the 16th. On Symposium this year, we have, and that's a full day event. Last year we started with Symposium. We bring in our certified professionals board of directors who come in and we'll talk about the state of the certified professional side of our industry. And we're going to have a lot of Q&A. We got a lot of good feedback last year, people being able to ask questions so it doesn't feel like it's a behind the scenes kind of program. But this year, we have a program we put together. It's titled Atypical Flooring. It's going to be moderated by Brian Beekler, who used to be, I don't know if you know him, he used to be scientist for Armstrong, and he's very well known and respected in the industry. We're going to have manufacturers there representing different facets of our industry from the wood flooring side, very wide plank, up to 24-inch widths and long lengths. We've got manufacturers representing end grain, reclaimed material, and modified wood. And the modified wood is one of those that seems to be an ever-moving target. And the reason we wanted to put this together was we've got installers there, we've got inspectors there, we've got other manufacturers and distributors, and it's not just 2 1/4 strip that we're used to using. It's not even 5-inch engineered that a lot of our industry got in and started selling. We're seeing stuff now that's upwards of 24 inches in width, up to 30-foot lengths with some of the stuff. One of the representatives will be there. We're seeing end grain flooring that shrinks and swells in all 4 directions, and it can create a real challenge when installing it or when inspecting it. And then you start talking about the modified woods, stuff that's pressed or impregnated or densified or whatever it is, to kind of mirror some of the aspects of the plastic stuff that's come around as being waterproof and scratch proof. And we're seeing wood being modified to mirror some of that stuff. So it's not just the selling features, but for this program, it's going to be more about installation challenges and inspection challenges, which you have to look at. And it'll be an open Q&A forum with these manufacturers. So that's a big one.
Is Brian going to be leading that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian will be there, and we're also going to be, with our inspector group that's there, we get some pretty intense questions sometimes. So I'll be in there, Chell will be in there, John Namba.
Where was Wayne's name? When did that come up? When to be moderator for this? Like, I'm looking for what place Wayne came in to moderate this symposium.
I think he was on the list somewhere.
Top 5.
Brian is Brian is very well respected, as am I. Are you going to have?
No, I asked that question because as soon as you said, I know that was going through your head, wasn't it, Wayne?
Yeah.
Where was I on that? Yeah. Where was I on that list?
Let's not put Brett on the spot like that. You've in the past have done like a taste of the NWFA classes. Are you doing any of those type of classes you've done before? You've done like bending wood and different stuff you've had in there.
So yeah, the symposium is at the beginning of Expo. Through the rest of Expo, we've got education that is what you're talking about is where our regional instructors go out and they just do whatever it is that comes to mind. And a lot of times it'll be just some master craftsman type stuff, bending wood and creating medallions or whatever. This year it's not going to disappoint. They're going to be doing a full demonstration on Thursday on the show floor. So we welcome anybody to come by. One thing that's different this year with what they're doing is it's going to be nonstop. They're just going to keep going. They're going to be plowing through and really creating something, and hopefully be able to show something that hasn't been shown in the past. One of the objectives we had, and we're tossing this around, was to get one of the Wood Floor of the Year winners and take a look at what they did on their floor and try to replicate it, or at least replicate components of it. And I can tell you, with the Wood Floor of the Year stuff that's coming up this year, some of the floors that came through, we've got a pretty amazing year. And I think I say that every year, especially that one year that you won, Wayne. But this year is really pretty phenomenal.
Do you hear the music?
Thanks.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
I hear it.
Yeah. I do hear it. It's still there. It's amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah.
You know,
I'll never get sick of that.
Thanks for bringing that up, Brett, so I didn't have to work it in. You know,
of course.
Selfless. You know.
We'll send you that check real quick.
Please.
We'll Venmo it this year. We're working with Venmo now, so
all right.
Get that right over to you. Yeah.
But really, the Wood Floor of the Year this year, that's on the very first day. It's after symposium. We have the big ceremony where we announce the winners of all of the categories that are out there. I feel for the judges this year, because there are some truly remarkable floors that come through, as are every year. But it's just every year my jaw drops.
Yeah, it truly, I mean, it's amazing, the crafts. And you know, it's funny because you start to see some guys come along now that you can spot their floors now. You see their style. And it reminds me, to me, it's almost like, you know, back in the 60s in music, like you had the Beach Boys here in England, you had the English Invasion, you had all different type of music, you know. Now you're starting to see, like, I can name a name, and I can see the kind of floors he does. You know what I mean? And so it's interesting to me that you saw, and I love the newer guys coming in. That me you know the newer names. You know, it's great to see the older guys have been around, but I love to see the newer guys come in with what they're doing, and that they're carrying on this tradition of really cool stuff, man. And I get inspired by it. I mean, and I'm glad you're doing this on the front end. Day one, to give the guys a recognition. That way, hey, when the guy's walking around, I did it the last convention. I seen the guy walking around, and I said, "Hey, man, let me ask you what you did with here. What were you thinking when you did this part of it?" And you know what? You can just kind of pick their brain a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
I can tell you, and you guys cannot be able to relate to this, but what an honor it is to be on that stage. Oh my God! Just you look out at the masses. It's just it's indescribable. I'd like to say that they're all winners, but honestly, you know,
you get your belt buckle.
Stage. I do.
You got your belt buckle. Show them your belt buckle.
Oh, I heard about the belt buckle.
Yeah, I think you guys should do this too. With the trophy, because you can't wrap that trophy. You can't wrap it around your neck. You know.
No, I think.
And I always said to Wayne, I go, man, they should do a belt buckle. You know,
that's a good idea.
A belt buckle, because, you know, like a rodeo, right? Rodeo guy, he's at a conference or whatever. He's wearing his buckle, you know?
That's right.
Where's your belt buckle?
I treasured that belt buckle. And Judy sold it at a garage sale. We got $11 for it. So
I had one made. I had one made for Wayne, and then I found out we got two more guys at Bona that won Floor of the Year, Mike Dittmer and Larry Nicholson. So I was like, all right, I'm going to have them belt buckles too. And I said,
nice.
So I got them all their belt buckles. And then last year, they're at convention. I said, hey, you know, make sure you wear those belt buckles, you know, because I didn't get reimbursed from Bona or anything. This was just out of my pure golden heart.
Wow,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and none of them wore it. Not one guy wore it. They're like, oh, yeah, I didn't get the right belt. I'm like, You
It's
gotta be
beautiful.
kidding.
No,
You're supposed to be representing, man. Put on the belt buckle for crying out loud.
That'll be
maybe I
sure. I think
will.
if you guys wear it at show, I mean that'll make a statement. I think it's something that might incentivize the
Thank
inside
you.
here to start really producing something like that. Also, great
Yeah.
thing.
I'm not sure what statement though it would. No, it is pretty cool. Hey, do you have the regional instructors, NWFA regional instructors? Are they all attending the conference?
Yes, I think all of them will be there. Yes.
Okay. I saw recently Jason Elquist did a video on sharpening the scraper.
Right.
And it just occurred to me that where would I find all those videos? Because you're in regionals, you got a powerhouse team right there now, Brett. I mean, you look at the regional instructors, every single one of them across the country, man. There's no fall off. They're all fantastic.
They are. They all have different strengths. They're all, I mean, they're rock stars. They're great at what they bring to the industry. We're fortunate that they give back to do a lot of this. We've developed, I mean, we've got this whole library of these videos, and we haven't even launched them all yet. We're hoping to replicate and do some more of these down the road. But we do have a YouTube channel where a lot of them live on the NWFA YouTube channel. You might check there. We have a lot of them on our online university, and we're trying to pull those out. Matter of fact, you start going back like through the COVID times when we did our online expo and all of that stuff. There was some phenomenal videos that were shot from our regional instructors during that time. And I'm starting to get, internally get our team to pull those out, extract them, and just showcase those. For example, Chell did one up in Canada during that time on different ways to create a white floor. And we always tease him because he kept talking about how frosty the floor was looking and how frosty you could make this side. But we pulled that out and made that available for a few people because people there's struggles with how to come up with the right color white on the floor.
Yeah.
There was some good tips in there, but yeah, you can expect to see more of those coming out. We've got a lot of great ones.
Good, because they're great videos. They're great videos, and I'm sorry when I see Jason Hillquist do a video on anything, I'm going to stop and watch it. I mean, that kind of knowledge, especially if you're in the career, early stage of your career, especially, man, it just takes the learning curve so much. You know what? There's so much time off of it, and we had a guy in a class. We had a class last week in Nashville, and one of the guys was there 29 years in the trade. And he was talking about how much he learned in whatever the last 2 or 3 years of his career. And I really admire guys that'll do that have been, this far into their career and still be open-minded enough to learn from somebody else and what have you. So pretty cool.
Wayne, have you ever made a video?
I made all kinds of videos. Kidding?
What do you get? A couple of hits on?
Well, wait a minute now. Which one are you talking about?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I got a few videos out there.
I know you're pretty proud of one of them.
The one with the thing on my head?
No, I wasn't even going to go there.
All right, thank you.
Oh, you used to do those videos where you would snap before everything would stop. I remember those.
I was a social media pioneer, man. We didn't have all the technology we have now. So all my early videos, when I did a video, you in the background here, that meant for the guy to stop. And then I would pick it up later. So
I remember that. They were good videos.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Highlander snap videos.
Yeah. That was the first Snapchat.
There you
I'm telling you. So all right. NWFA, what else anything else you want to discuss about it, Brett?
I think the diversity in our industry, we've really tried to capture the last few years. We've got a few different events, the emerging leaders reception for everybody who's under 40 years old to go to that. Anybody who's under there, I encourage anybody to go to that emerging leaders reception, even people that are over 40, just to meet some of the up and coming people in our industry. It's pretty exciting to see some of these people coming through and how much energy they bring to our trade. We've got the Women in the Industry conference again, which brings, it grows every year. We've got, what are a couple of the others that we're doing? The new member, I think it's a new member reception where all new members and first-time attendees come. just a lot. The distributor networking events. We've got a lot of these events that we do each year, and we tend to add more and more. That it really caters to everybody. And like you said, I mean, the brotherhood that comes together for this show, it's kind of like pick which event you want to be a part of. I mean, it's the hardest part of our show is being a part of it all, because it really is. You see so many people, and I always kick myself because I never feel like I've given the amount of time necessary to talk with any one individual. I mean, you could 5 minutes with one person is never enough, and move in a million different directions. So,
hey Wayne, I'm gonna send you some of that Grecian formula for your beard, so you can attend that under 40.
Believe me, we're going to get into that.
I know you want in on that one. I know, I know how much you think about that 40 under 40.
Okay, well, all right.
And I know you're not like, where's the 70 under 70?
Okay.
When are we gonna do that?
Okay, so let's get into that.
And I know you feel bad because you're thinking Rob's never gonna make 70 under 70. We'll have to maybe 120 under 120. He might make that one.
Okay, I think we should get into that. And I don't like to complain, Brett. I love the 40 under 40s. I mean, they're fantastic. But when are we going to shine light on the people like over 60? What am I, 63 now? When are we going to give them old guys and gals some of their due? I mean, we need a...
kind of narrow it down, 63, born in March, that kind of thing.
Yeah, after July 15th.
After July 5th, yeah, exactly.
I'll check with our magazine team and see what we can do. Actually, it's not that's a pretty common complaint. And it's one of those that the 40 under 40 is amazing. And every year I'm blown away by how many qualified people are in that category. But there are so many people that have paved the way and set the foundation for where we are today. And when you look at, Mickey Moore just passed away, and you think about his career and what he did for this industry and everything we've done. There's a lot of people like that, and nobody's getting younger. I think it's one of those that, and I know, with the magazine, they've tried to focus in a little bit more on some of the real foundation setting people in our industry, but it would be good to put a 60 over 60 category together one of these days.
Yeah, there you go.
No, we don't make that either. So it's gotta be, you gotta go to the 70. That thing about, are you guys doing anything for Mickey Moore? I mean, he is the OG of training, man. He was the first trainer in our business, I think.
That's right.
First official trainer.
I
all
could
goes
almost
back
guarantee
to him, man.
That's exactly. I mean, I don't know that a lot of people in our industry really realize what he paved for our industry. I mean, he set the standards through NWFA. He had their standard programs, the training that NWFA partnered with, and then ended up taking on themselves. And this, I could almost guarantee there's going to be some stuff that'll be pulled together for Mickey. I think.
Good. That's great.
It'll be happening.
Because I had done some schools for the NWFA back in my other lifetime, and I never got to go to one of Mickey's NWFA schools. And then I was talking to Steve Seabaugh before the class, and he goes, Mickey Moore's going to join us on this school. And I'm like, oh man, I've been waiting for this for about 20 years. This is awesome. So I did get to do that. That one training in St. Louis with Mickey, and it was just awesome just to sit back and listen to him talk and watch him teach and everything. It was just great. So that was a terrible loss to the industry, but
it was.
He got the whole thing rolling, I think.
I agree. Couldn't agree more.
Is there going to be a guest speaker this year?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Last year was the first year we didn't have a keynote speaker, and to be honest, I think it went over really well. I think we get some good keynote speakers, but I don't know that it was really missed last year, so I'm not real sure what they're doing.
Wayne, do you have anybody in mind, Wayne?
I got time. I mean, I can fly in early.
I'll put a good word in.
I just did a presentation that I equated fishing to sales. So I think I could work something.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Brett, what you gotta remember about Wayne and I. Let's say we're at a sales meeting and they're saying, "All right, and this year's Sports Salesman of the Year is," and both Wayne and I are like, "Oh, that's definitely me. I get this, right?" No matter what prize they're giving out, you always look at Wayne and I because we're gonna look disappointed when our name doesn't come up because we're thinking, "Yeah, that should be me. Absolutely, that's me."
And one of the years I was here when somebody else won, we were at a fancy. They gave him the trophy, and we're at a fancy hotel, and there was a statue there. And I picked up the statue and I gave it to him. I said, "Here, why don't you take this home with you too? This didn't belong to you either." It's not that I'm competitive.
Well, I'll put a word into Penny and see if she's looking for a good presenter. I think that would be good. The fishing analogy would be perfect.
Highlander would be an amazing keynote speaker.
What else? We hit the training. We hit the symposiums and the floor of the year. I'm stoked for that you're doing on the front side. I would just implore everybody. So, and how do they, if they haven't registered yet, how would they register?
You can go onto our Expo website. Just Google NWFA Expo 2024. It'll come up, and there's a registration button. It's super easy to get on there and register. And like I said, on that last day is free for local contractors to come through. So even anybody who's attending and maybe knows some people or anything like that. I mean, it's always good to fill that class. On that last day also, we're doing another student event where we've reached out to local high schools, and we get high school students that come through, and it's kind of fun to see them get excited about our industry. Last year was pretty impressive to see how many came through and how many hats they could fit on their head and everything else.
Yeah, so, I remember that.
That's a great idea. Boy, that's an awesome idea. I like that.
Yeah.
How many vendors booths do you have this year?
We're tracking with where we were in 2019, which is pretty nice. This will be the biggest year, I think, since the COVID deal. We're going to be close to 300 vendors, close to 3,000 attendees, which is about where we were at in 2019. So pretty good.
That is impressive. Amazing. And you know how the podcasts work, Brett. When this is over, we have Chris that does our editing and putting it all together. And if we make a mistake, he'll take that out or whatever. And this will come out as the NWFA podcast. But what you'll hear will edit out everything except for where our booth is on the floor. Yeah. Just you understand, it's an editing thing. Yeah.
Of course.
Brett, how long have you been with the NWFA now?
11 years.
11 years. And from where you first started and how much you've learned about the industry right now and how much you've grown, I'd say what would you say is the biggest surprise of the 11 years or the most gratifying that from your role that you have right now?
That's a good question.
Tell the truth. You're shocked that Wayne and I have had 5 years of podcasts. That's the most surprising thing.
Definitely the most amazing. And I'm trying to get close to you guys, and this video thing is up next for us. We're gonna have to work on that.
Okay.
No, in all seriousness, I mean, just seeing where this industry's come and being a part of it, I mean, I feel so honored. Looking back to my days as a contractor, I would have never even dreamed of being a part of the organization that kind of unites the industry and keeps us all as a big family. So it's fun to see. And like you said earlier, and I think this is the best part to me, is the people that are coming up and into our industry, the future, where it's going to pave, where it's going to go. That to me is one of the most exciting things. We've got some really good people coming into this trade.
Brett, you're no spring chicken. What would you be? 50 under 50 or
I just hit 50.
Under 60?
I just hit 50, so I'm a half a century mark now officially.
Oh man, yeah. I thought the beer was looking a little gray. You're gonna need some Grecian formula too to attend that 40 under 40.
I'm gonna work on it.
Well, I remember the day you got hired at the NWFA, and I said at that time. I mean, they couldn't have hired a better guy for the job. I mean, you really are you've done a lot for the organization, Brett, and I think they couldn't have picked a better guy. And
That's not what you said in the text to me.
I'm trying to favor points. I want to get an NWFA
His,
hat.
his text was one word. Really?
We got nobody else. So, Brett, I look forward to seeing you down there. It's only a short time away, so if you haven't registered for the event, register, man. Holy smokes, come down there. It's only a few days. You work your butt off every year, and take a few days to yourself or your family. Come down there and join it. You'll never regret it. I always come away so pumped up after I go to the NWFA. I mean, I come back with a whole new re-energized about doing floors when I was a contractor, and meeting like-minded people, and it's just you'll meet so many friends that you'll carry with you for the rest of your career. It's absolutely worth it. And thanks for being on, Brett, man. I mean,
Hold
really
on,
do appreciate.
Brett, give us the days one more time, the dates.
April 16th through the 18th in New Orleans. Officially, it's at the New Orleans Ernest N. Memorial Convention Center right downtown.
Oh, that's awesome.
I did a beautiful wrap up that was almost emotional.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to jump in and screw it up.
Yeah, right at the peak climax of my beautiful speech.
How awesome was that timing, huh?
It was, yeah.
That's 5 years of podcast right there.
Brett, you know anybody would make a good second guy on a podcast? You see a lot of people.
Oh, he had to throw second guy in.
I'm sorry.
I don't miss anything. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
I don't miss anything, man.
You're more sensitive than you let on, huh?
Oh, yeah. Believe me, very sensitive.
Okay. Brett, is there anything we left off? Is there anything else you want to say while we got you here?
I don't think so. I really appreciate you guys having me on. I appreciate what you guys bring to the industry. It's a true joy to listen to you guys on your podcast. I mean, we go way back from before all of this, and I remember when we first all met, and you and I, Wayne, got hired at the same time into this industry, into the sales side, and I truly get a kick out of listening to both of you. You two are two of my favorite people in the industry. So
it was the biggest mistake I made in my life, and that was both of you guys. Absolutely.
Can you believe that he was our boss at one time, Brett?
I know.
You know what's great about that is I just haven't moved.
No,
you guys are directors and heads and this and that, and I'm still here. Right?
You're like
I haven't budged 18 years. I have not. I'm the grasshopper in the jar that you take the lid off and he just bounces that high. Can't get out.
You're like the guy in the 7th grade that was already starting to grow a beard and he was a tough guy, but then he plateaued, and everybody else grew and took off.
8th grade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
No, truly, I do appreciate you guys, and thank you so much for having me on. And we appreciate this promotion for our expo coming up, and I look forward to seeing you all there too.
Certainly, Brett. Thank you, sir, for being on, and look forward to seeing you when we get down there. And thanks so much.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
You too.
Okay, this has been another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob and Brett Miller. Please stay tuned for another episode.